Hey y'all, I am back with a new Lunchbox video. If this is your first time here, I am making lunch for my husband to take to work. He is a truck driver and he normally works 5 days out of the week. So this is just a way to save him a lot of money. It's one less thing that he has to think about throughout the day, and it just prevents him from eating like fast food so much, since I'm sure it's very tempting constantly being on the road. But first up, I am making him a chicken bacon ranch wrap. So I've just laid out a burrito sized tortilla. I've spread on a thin layer of ranch, and I've just layered on some deli buffalo chicken that I pick up at Walmart. I've added some cooked bacon, a little bit of lettuce, and just some Roma tomato slices. And I am seasoning those tomatoes with a little bit of sea salt and black pepper. And then I'm just going to roll this up like a burrito. So I'm just folding in the sides first, and then I go in the other direction and tightly roll it. I did have to take out one of the tomatoes to make it work, but there we go. We got a burrito, and now I'm just going to take a sharp knife and run it through the center. And now he has this beautiful, delicious wrap. We both love these for lunches, and they're good anytime, but especially during the summer. I'm sure if you are out in that crazy heat constantly, you don't always want like a hot lunch. So this is like cool and refreshing, and he loved it. So to go along with it, I'm also going to give him 2 of these mozzarella string cheeses. And I always like to throw in like a sweet treat for him. So these are the firework Oreos. I'm going to give him 2 of those. It has like popping candy in the like cream center. So my kids have been getting a big kick out of that. And I'm also going to give him a few of these red, white, and blue peanut butter M&Ms. I am a sucker for like anything themed or new at the grocery store. And then also I'm going to give him some of these Clausen pickles. Those are our favorite, especially like the sandwich style cup ones, and I always like to seal it in a Ziploc bag, or else everything else in that box will taste like pickles. I always like to also try to include a fruit with his lunches, since he is not big on vegetables, so I like to know that he is getting at least something healthy. So I gave him some blackberries. I have been finding those on sale a lot here recently at Kroger. And also I picked up this new like melon baller tool. I've been wanting it for a while, and I found it at Walmart for like, I think it was $4.88, something like that. So I am using that on some cantaloupe, and this was my first time ever using it. Didn't know what I was doing, and I did it completely wrong. I'm kind of scooping it like you would ice cream, which made it in these weird like long pieces. So I just rolled it up and made it work. But later on in the day, I decided to give it another try with the other half of the cantaloupe, and I figured it out. So you just kind of go like side to side in a circular motion, and it makes these like perfect cantaloupe balls, and they're so cute. But also with his lunch, he is going to get a small bag of Funyuns, as well as some of these Fritos like honey barbecue twist. And then for drinks, he is going to get a blackberry L8. We didn't really care for these, to be honest. I wouldn't buy them again, but we just kind of wanted to see what that was all about. And he is going to be getting bottles of water throughout this video, and I know that bothers some people, but it's all we currently have available. We have a Primo water dispenser, and it needs to be deep cleaned. If you have one, you know it's a long process, having to run vinegar through it, flush it out, and whatnot. And also we have to travel like quite a distance to get that water refilled, so I just haven't done it yet. I should probably figure out something different, but it is what it is for now. The next day, I gave him a leftover chicken breast from dinner, and I did share this pizza stuffed chicken recipe in my last What's for Dinner video if you're interested in the recipe. But I always like to mention that he does have a way to heat this up. He just places his container in his Hot Logic. It plugs right up into his cigarette lighter and heats it up that way. I will have it linked in my description box. But to go along with this, I wanted to make some of these ranch crackers. They are the best little snack, and they are so easy to make. So you just take a bag of the oyster crackers and dump it out in a large mixing bowl. You'll need some type of oil. I'm using avocado oil, but you could even use vegetable oil if that's what you have. Most recipes say to use like 3/4 of a cup, but I wanted to cut that down to a 1/4 cup. So that is what I do. But now I'm going to start adding in some seasonings, which is the best part about these crackers. So I have a 1/2 teaspoon of some dry dill, a 1/4 teaspoon of some lemon pepper seasoning, and I'm using the one by Mrs. Dash, and also a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. You'll need a packet of ranch seasoning mix, and since I use it so much, I just buy it in the big bottles, so that is 3 tablespoons. And I did kind of mess up this recipe a little bit. I was in a hurry, but technically you're supposed to mix the seasonings in with the oil first and then drizzle it over the crackers, just so that it can be like more evenly distributed. But it still turned out good, so I guess I didn't mess it up too bad. But After I got that all mixed together, I just dumped it out onto my cookie sheet. You could either do parchment paper or one of these like silicone mats like I have. And I'm just doing my best to kind of get that in an even layer. And I baked that at 275 degrees for around 20 minutes. And that's just going to help like dry out that oil and make those seasonings stick better. But yeah, they are so amazing if you've never had them before. But yeah, I'm going to give him a good amount of those in this little divided glass container. And then for that other section in the container, I'm going to be making some of these little like BLT egg bites. So I just have 2 hard-boiled eggs that I have split in half, and I am just lightly seasoning those with some salt and pepper. Now I'm just taking a few little pieces of lettuce and adding that on top of the egg, followed by a slice of tomato that I've just cut in half. Again, lightly seasoning with salt and pepper. And then I just took a strip of bacon, tore it in half, and that is it for these. Very easy. I did secure it with a toothpick before adding on the top piece because otherwise it was all just wanting to like slide off before I could get it together. But these were the perfect like protein filled snack. Josh loved it, and it's just a cute and fun way to like serve it up. I did want to give these a little bit of extra flavor, so I grabbed my Asiago cheese, everything bagel seasoning, and sprinkled on just a little bit. I found that at Hobby Lobby of all places. Also to go along with it, he's getting a bowl of fresh strawberries since they are so good and in season right now. And he's also going to get a strawberry cheesecake Greek yogurt. I give these to him a lot. We all love them, and they're always in my fridge. You can't forget the silverware, so we've got the fork and knife for his chicken and a spoon for his yogurt. For his drinks, again, just water. He does keep a bag of like different flavored drink mixes in his truck so that he can pull one out if he wants some extra flavor. And then he is getting a Diet Mountain Dew. I also gave him a couple different like ranch packets to dip his chicken into. So we've got one from Chick-fil-A and one from Hardee's because yes, I am that person that saves the sauces. We had some leftover ciabatta rolls and roasted garlic pork tenderloin, so I decided to make him a sandwich out of that. I did butter up the rolls and toast them in a pan beforehand, added on that sliced pork and a little bit of mayo and a slice of Sargento sharp cheddar cheese. That is it. He didn't want anything else on it. So simple, and just any type of pork sandwich is always a huge hit with him. I'm also going to give him some egg salad. I don't have a recipe for this. I just kind of do it different every time, but very simple. It's just hard-boiled eggs, mayo, mustard, salt, pepper, dill pickle relish, and a little bit of pickle juice. So good. I like to top it with a little bit of extra black pepper. And then in that same container, I'm going to do kind of like a little homemade Lunchable type deal. So I'm going to give him some of these garlic butter Ritz crackers that we love. I'm going to slice up some of this Vermont extra sharp cheddar cheese, and I'm going to attempt to do some salami ribbons by just like stringing it along some toothpicks to make it look fancy. It was bothering me that there was a gap at the bottom, so I decided to fill it in with some almonds. These are just the Blue Diamond lightly salted ones. I also found this cup of like the petite kosher dill pickles in my pantry, so I figured that would go perfect with this meal. I also sliced him up in orange, and these are the blood oranges, and I didn't even realize that that is what I had bought, so you should have saw the look on my face when I first cut into it. We have never had those before, but they were pretty good. And lastly, I just gave him a Twinkie. These have like the red and blue sprinkles throughout. And I'm going to throw in another Diet Dew and a blue Gatorade Zero. I really utilize leftovers throughout this video with rising food costs. It's just what makes the most sense right now. So if you watch my What's for Dinners as well, I know you're seeing a lot of repeats, but if you missed it, I did make this garlic chicken, and I just served it over some white rice, and it's very, very good. So the recipe's there. It also has this like really delicious, flavorful gravy. It had cooled down by this point, of course, so it looks really like thick and weird, but when he heats it up, it will like fix itself. But that's that. So for a snack, I gave him some slices of pepperoni as well as 2 of these like Baby Bell light cheeses. We're all obsessed with those. I wish they were a little cheaper, but I'll continue buying them because they are worth it in our opinion. Also, me and the kids made some brownies. This is just a box mix. This is the one by Ghirardelli, the caramel turtle. It has walnuts all throughout. They were super good. And I also gave him a little snack size bag of these like pizza goldfish crackers. I had bought these for the kids thinking they would love them, but they do not care for these at all. So I'm just trying to get those finished off. So me and Josh think they're pretty good, but we probably wouldn't buy them again. I'm also going to throw in a granola bar. This is the lemon meringue one. All of the Sunbelt granola bars are so good. And I'm also going to throw in an apple. Lastly, I made Josh a steak, egg, and cheese bagel. He is a huge breakfast person, so he loves it no matter what time of day it is. And he did say that this was his favorite lunch from the entire week. So this is just a plain Thomas bagel. I'm spreading on a thin layer of butter, and I'm going to get that added to my hot skillet to get it like start to crisp up, get it brown. And I have been bragging on these great value Philly steak sirloin patties for a while now. I have been buying them for years. We love them for so many different things, and it worked perfectly on this bagel sandwich. So I'm just going to cook one up. Takes no time to cook. These are already seasoned, but I still wanted to add just a little bit of some Montreal steak seasoning for a little bit of extra flavor. I was trying to keep it together instead of like chopping it up like you normally would. That way it would stay on the sandwich better. I'm also going to go ahead and crack in my egg in that same skillet. Everything is going in one pan, which I love. Let's clean up. I did forget to add a little bit of butter though before cracking in the egg. I knew it wasn't going to stick though because I'm using a good skillet, but I still wanted that flavor. So I'm kind of trying to just scoot it up under there, and I'm just going to season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. So by this point, it was time to take the bagels off the heat. So I'm going to get that over there to the side on a piece of tin foil. Going to get my egg flipped over, and by this point, that steak was fully cooked through. So it is time to assemble the sandwich. So I'm going to start by laying down a piece of cheese. That steak was like falling apart by this point, which it's all good. It all worked out. It just took me a little bit to get it on there. I'm also going to, of course, add that egg on top of that. And every breakfast sandwich needs like some type of sauce, at least for us. So I know this sounds weird, but don't knock it till you try it. This dill veggie dip works perfectly with these steak bagels. It just works together so good. You got to trust me. Now, if I was going to serve this to him fresh, I would smear that like on the bagel, but since I'm packing it up and it'll be a while till he eats it, I didn't want it to get soggy, so that's why I put it on top of the egg and sealed it with another slice of cheese. These are amazingly good. You gotta try it. And I had already folded this up, and I thought, well, maybe some people would like to see how I fold it, so I redone it for y'all. And again, he can just stick that in his Hot Logic to heat it up when he's ready. So to go along with that, I also gave him some chips and salsa. This is our favorite salsa. It's just the Great Value Cantina style one. That's the medium spice level. And like I always say, I do blend up my salsa and then put it back in the jar. I just like it that way for recipes and whatnot. So that's why it looks like that. I also gave him a Ziploc bag full of tortilla chips. And I gave him a bowl of some leftover pasta salad. This is just the one by Betty Crocker. Comes in a box. I forget what it's called. I think it's like creamy ranch and bacon. I'm sure a lot of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And then in this bowl, we just have some fresh pineapple. This one was perfect. Perfectly sweet, not bitter at all. Just delicious. And then lastly, he is getting another granola bar. This is the coconut cream one, and it is just perfect for summer. It tastes so like tropical. Definitely our new favorite one. And then again, of course, he's got his water. And then he's got an Orange Crush, 0 sugar. And that can, love it. It looks super summery. But that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it gave you some inspiration and you found a new idea or two. If you watched it to the end, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope that everyone has an amazing rest of your week, rest of your summer. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next one.